Okay, so yesterday, not yesterday, Friday night, I got a 19.67 FNC mean with an 18 single. I'm gonna reconstruct all of those. 18 was my first sub 20, and I didn't have a sub 20 before this mean, which is crazy. First sub 20 and then first sub 20 mean and same average is insane. These scrambles were pretty insane too. I built 3 was like the only bad one. There was a 2 VO even on 1. I'm just setting these up real quick. Alright, so EOXis was 6 for, I believe it was 6. 6 for 6, I think. Anyway, there's a bunch of good EOs on every axis, but there was especially good one was 2 VO on FB, not FB, RL. So I did DR prime. I did R originally, but I spent a bunch of time checking RCPs. I spent like 20 minutes just checking like +3s and stuff, and that's what I did. So on FB DR axis, U prime, F prime D gives 4C4E and 5. And this axis, it's not like that good. There's probably like a 12 move DR, but that's only, I already had like a bunch of 11 move DRs and stuff. So yeah, then I just switched off of it. I have a scramble set up. I don't need to do that. So it was pretty easy. It was just D2 set up this block, R2 set up this block, U2, F U prime to set up in the trigger better. And that's 10 2C3 2E, which is like pretty okay. That's like a good DR, but it's not like, ooh, I need to do this. It's gonna be like sub 20, which it +8, but it gave +8. But anyway, so I just immediately tried to like solve it, see if there's anything good. So I did B prime, D2, R2 sets up that 4B2 trigger, F prime QF, and then L2 F2 for slice in 18. That's like insane. I think that's the best slice I've had. I missed a slice in 16 once, but like it was the wrong slice. And then first thing I tried to fix slice was instead of doing F prime QF, B prime R2B, L2 F2. That's +0, 18. That's like insane. First sub 20, skipped 19, which is pretty cool. And it was like not even like, it was just lucky finish. There was like, I mean, 2 VO obviously, but like I would never expect to get an 18 from 10 2C3. All right, now this. Okay, so this is the next one. This is a 19, which is also insane. And it was also an insane scribble. Like, just look at it. This is inverse, but like a bunch of blocks. It was 6 4 6 again. And it was like, so anyway, let's just start. This was on FB. You could do F to 2 bad edges. And then you could do R prime DR to do a bunch of stuff. There was like I think a bunch of 4 movers off of this, but if you miss it, it also goes to 4 mover. So I did that, F, and then it was F prime D2F on normal. It gave instant RZP, and it like wasn't that good. So I did it on here, and it gave this, which is like super insane. Unfortunately, the best one I could find was an 11 move DR, but it was 4A1 4E. So what I did was L2 U prime R2, U F2 DL 4A1 4E. I couldn't find anything good, so I looked for extensions. L prime D F2 U R2 L2. That's wrong. Let me reset this up. But so I looked for extensions because in an attempt, a lot of official attempts, I missed 481, 409. That gave 8 star and 10. Not from an extension. I didn't find the efficient one, but it's very similar in the fact that I didn't look once I found a DR on this axis. Anyway, so I looked for extensions, and after I did L prime U prime R2 to set this thing up, instead of doing U F2, you could do U prime D2 B2 D prime R, which is also good. 12 481 4E, except this time it's actually good because it's +3 to HCR with R2 U2 F2 D. One of those moves cancels with the post DR stuff, and then you get this, which L2 U2 F2 R2 F2. That's a 20. But the last move on normal was an F, so it cancels and gives a 19, which is insane. This is my second sub 20 ever, one of 2 that I have, and it's it's so stupid. 18-19 start, best I've had by 1.5 moves, because I had 20-20 start, I believe, before this, and I need a 25 for PB mean, which, spoiler, I got. And then also the attempt before this, which I didn't realize until just recently, was a 21, so I already had a 1933 rolling mean, which I'll also reconstruct after I'm done reconstructing my 22 that I got next attempt. Okay, this is attempt 3. This was by far the worst scramble. I found 25 videos, and that's it. One of the others, I think I wrote 70. I only checked all the good ones, and then I found the good stuff. But anyway, start with normal. I did a NIS EO on RL axis with UL. It gives us 5 over here, but it's not good. So UL NIS EO, and then it +3 on the other side, UBL. And it gives RCP on 2 axes, which is pretty nice. This one, both 4C 2E. This one's bad, and this one's good. You can see this big block. So it only gave 12 to DR, but it was it +8, or it +7, no, it +10, which also makes this, because it +8 on 1, +7 on 2. This gave a 8.3 average DR finish. So anyway, to create this DR, I did B2 R2 to create this block, and then you could just set a trigger with E F2 D prime F2 D, and that gives 4B2 6E in 12. So with parity, so yeah, parity. So to fix it, I did D2, which cancels, R2 D2, and then you can do D2 to set up to 4B2 6E trigger with FU2 B prime, and then you get this, which it's also insane. It's D2, F2, R2, E2, L2, which is a 23. But it also, last move on normal was an L prime, so it cancels for 22, which is 1967 mean. Oh my god, what? I don't know how I got this. But I also got 19.3 rolling, which was really stupid. Okay, this was a 22. If you can't tell, this is kind of crowded. Wait, which one's which? Okay, this is math. Okay, so this was on MCA server scramble of the week. If you want to do that, don't watch this. This scramble was mid. It was 4, 6, 8, I believe. But I'll take a 21. And this also gives 1933 rolling mean. This was before the mean. But it's it's so dumb. I'm never beating 1933 or 1967 for that matter. So anyway, this was the scramble. It was oh my god, this stuff's in the way. Okay, so I just did a pretty simple U L prime R B, and then there was not much. There was one move to 7C80, which is what I ended up going with. I wouldn't have normally checked this because I never used 7C80 in this all before this, but it's I hit a bunch of time and I didn't have any very good DRs. So I just switched it because it wasn't very good, and it was good. It was +1 to trigger. So then switch L2 R D prime L, which is like what? So, and then I just switched, or I looked at this, there was nothing good, looked at this, nothing good, and then I switched to 4Q, and I was on this already, so I did F2U, and then it, like, didn't have any good extensions, so then I switched again, and found R2U gives 4B2 2E, switched again, D2L2 into the trigger, and then U2 cancels R2 after R2, 21. So, yeah. That's so dumb. We don't talk about the Q for QT path, but that's 21. PB mean, I'll take it. Yeah. I'm never beating this ever.